Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of PTD6. Let's continue the tower guide and tutorial. So support towers, now spec factory. So Monkey Meadow sandbox, medium. I have deactivated Monkey Knowledge to show you the tower as it is by itself without any extra things. So now, spec factory. Now despite the fact that this tower is classified as a support tower, this tower is gonna attack the Bloons. The journal description here says that it's gonna automatically generate piles of prospects on the nearby track. Excellent last line of defense. So the game gives us two tips already. The first one is that normally this tower is better placed close to the last portion of the map. And second one, that you generate this pile of prospects on the track automatically. Now the main characteristic of this tower is the fact that because this prospect pile is generated automatically, you can pop by default camo Bloons. Because camo Bloons are just classified as Bloons on top of the path, you can pop them. So the spec factory does not really make any difference between like camo Bloons or normal Bloons, because they're both on top of the track. Now the basic stats of the spec factory, you can see the base cost being 800 in medium. That's the same cost of the ace, so it's a pretty expensive tower, I would say. The range is quite small, but the range really in this tower means nothing. It's not really that important. The more important is the damage. So in this case, each set of prospects that the spec factory is gonna place is gonna be, actually I'm gonna just place another one here. As you can see here is 5 of these thorns. Each one of these thorns is gonna have 0 of piercing. It's gonna have 1 layer of damage, and the attack speed is 1 set of prospects every 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds. So you can pop like 5 red Bloons with each prospect. You can pop 5 blue Bloons with 2 sets of prospects. You can pop 5 green Bloons with 3 sets of prospects, and so on. So that's how it works. Now, because of the fact that this tower has already camo detection, the only thing left is lead popping power. And there is a specific upgrade that's gonna allow this tower to pop lead Bloons as well. That is this one, so the second one in the top tree. And you can pop lead Bloons and also frozen Bloons in case you may need that as well. And that's it. So not even the 5th upgrade in the middle and in the bottom tree can have lead popping power. So you're gonna need 100% this upgrade, or you're gonna need to give the spec factory lead popping power with other sources. For example, it can be an alchemist, so with the Mixodip, or you can pop lead Bloons with other towers directly, or you can just give the MIB effect with the village as well. Okay, so now talking about the cost, you can see already the base cost of the tower being quite expensive, 800. Now the first upgrades are not gonna be that expensive, so 600, 700, nothing too terrible. Second upgrades as well, so pretty similar to the first upgrades. Now with the third upgrades, the price goes up a little bit, especially for the top and middle tree. The bottom tree stays quite cheap, 1.4. Then fourth upgrades, the top tree being definitely expensive, 12k. Middle one is gonna be 5k, and bottom one 3.5. And then third 5 upgrades, super expensive. The 5th upgrade in the top tree. This is more expensive than some of the banana farms upgrades and some of the super monkey upgrades. So super expensive. Then middle path is gonna be 42k. So pretty average. So not cheap, but not even expensive. Pretty okay. And then perma spike, the last one, quite cheap. So 25k is normally a pretty low price for a tar 5 upgrade. And yeah, so now In this case, each one of the trees is gonna focus on something on the spike factory. So the first tree, the top tree in this case, is gonna focus more on adding, first of all, piercing. So from 5 thorns to 10. So with this upgrade, you can place, you can double the amount of thorns. The damage stays the same, so it's always 1 layer, but you can pop 10 bloons total instead of 5. Then second upgrade, already I showed it, that popping power. Third upgrade, you create these spike balls that are gonna do extra damage to ceramics and fortified bloons. Fourth upgrade, the mines are gonna explode when they lose the spikes, and you're gonna also place the bloons on fire. So you're gonna also set the bloons on fire. Okay, so let's just wait here a little bit, and let's just drop here one. Some ceramics. Now you can see the explosion, and you can see the damage over time effect with the mines. So that's how it works pretty much. When all the spikes are consumed, there's gonna be this little explosion that's gonna damage the bloons, and it's gonna also set the bloons on fire. Then with the fifth upgrade, you lose a lot of attack speed. So these mines, that are these super mines, are gonna be dropped very slowly. But they're gonna create, as the description says, these gigantic explosions that are gonna do a lot of damage. So in this case, you can see here 1 ceramic, and that's the explosion. So well, maybe it's better with a mob. So you can see a mob, so losing some damage with the spikes, and then with all the spikes are consumed, it's gonna explode, and that explosion just destroys, just deals a lot of damage. And yeah, you can see that in this case I had like 2 super mines, and the damage is quite high. And each one of the explosions deals, I don't know how much damage, but it deals quite a lot of damage. So let's just try out against this. Oh my god. So let's see here the explosion damage, 500. Yeah, I think it's 500. So that's the top tree. The middle tree is gonna focus first on attack speed, so you're gonna gain attack speed with both these upgrades. Then you're gonna gain extra damage to mobs with the third one, and then fourth and fifth one you gain as well the activated ability. That works pretty simply. So in this case, the activated ability is gonna be Spike Storm. So when you click on it, it's gonna shoot a thick layer of spikes around the track. So you can see it right here. That's the spike. Now you can improve not only the basic spikes that you are, so that you can improve the basic damage of the spikes that the spike factory is producing by getting the first upgrade in the top path, but you can also make the activated ability stronger. Now you can see that also with the activated ability, now I have 10 thorns and I can pop lab bloons. So you can benefit the activated ability with the benefits of the first path. So yeah, that's one thing. And then the only difference with the fourth and fifth upgrade is the fact that with the fifth upgrade, every 12-15 seconds, the spike factory automatically is gonna pretty much activate like an activated ability. So it's gonna place the spikes over the track, but it's gonna do it by its own. So you still have the activated ability that if you want you can use, but then the spike factory will do the passive. It's gonna do it by itself. So that's how the Tar 5 upgrade works. And as well, this one you can buff it even more if you get the first upgrades in the first path. And then finally the bottom path, increasing range, pretty useless in this case. Then this upgrade is quite nice because of the fact that here you can see that the spike factory does not have any targeting option. So it's gonna just place randomly these spikes around the range. But now with the second upgrade in the bottom path, you're gonna acquire a targeting option. Now this targeting does not work in terms of the tower choosing which bloons to attack, but in terms of choosing where to deposit the raw spikes. So it can be normal, so exactly like before, so the placement is random. It can be smart, so this time instead, depending on the round and depending on where you're placing the raw spike, the spike factory may place them in one spot or in another one. It can either be though far, so in this way you're placing the raw spikes the further in the point that is the furthest from the spike factory, or last one, it can be close. In this case, you're placing the raw spikes the closest to the spike factory. And that's pretty much it. So those are the 4 targeting options that you unlock with the second upgrade in the bottom path. Third upgrade, spikes last longer, and they can carry over 1 round. So that one thing that I didn't say is that whenever you start stacking some raw spikes, so at the beginning of a round, then when that round ends and the new round starts, you're gonna lose all the raw spikes that you had placed, and you're gonna start again from 0. So each round the raw spikes are gonna be refreshed. So what this upgrade does is that now it allows you to place these raw spikes that can carry over 1 more round, so you can have a larger amount of raw spikes at a time. And yeah, that works. So that's how it is. Then 4th upgrade, more damage, so now 2 layers of damage. And then 5th upgrade, as usual, the description does not say a lot. Now with this upgrade you gain a lot of things. You gain, first of all, you gain damage, so you gain 10 layers of damage with each spike, plus you gain you gain 50 of piercing. So that means that each spike can pop up to 50 different bloons and up to 10 layers for each bloon popped. So with this, I'm gonna just sell this here. So with this raw spike, I'm gonna just remove all of them here. Yeah, here we go. So with this spike factory, it means that popping 50 rainbow bloons with 1 spike or popping 50 red bloons is exactly the same. So look at this. And boom. And now with the last bloon, so with the 50th bloon, the raw spikes are removed. And that works exactly the same as for 50 red bloons, because a rainbow bloon has 8 layers and the red bloon has just 1 layer. Now the piercing is the one that is capped. So in this case, boom. Instead with ceramics, because ceramics have 18 layers, you're gonna need more than 1 spike to pop all of them, because you can't do it maximally, and so that's how it works. Now in my personal opinion, by playing out the game, by trying out different upgrades, I think the perma spike is the best one. It's one of the best towers that you can use also in chimps, because it's very reliable. And even if you cannot pop lat bloons, you can do a very simple thing. So after you get the perma spike, and normally getting more attack speed is better, and you set it on close, you just need an alchemist to buff it and to apply the Mexo dip. And with this, now the spike factory can pop lat bloons, and that's it. So you don't need to like have other towers or to build the 100% a tower that can pop lat bloons, or to get the first upgrade. You can pop lat bloons just like that. So that's the cool thing about the spike factory with the alchemist. And you can buff the spike factory even further by getting, in this case, the brew and the stronger stimulant. And you can buff it even further by getting a village, getting more attack speed, and getting also primary training, so to also increase the pierce of the spikes. And if you want, you can even get the primary expertise. That's going to allow you to get also more damage as well, upper layer. And so there are different ways how you can buff further and further the perma spike. And now the spikes here, even if it says here that the spikes are almost permanent, this is not the case. So the spikes are gonna last for 4 rounds, and if they're not consumed, they're gonna be removed. So the spikes that you accumulated in one particular round, after 4 rounds, if they're not consumed, they're gonna be removed. Or another thing is that if the spikes survive longer than 350 seconds, then they're gonna start disappearing after that period of time. So it's 2 things. It's either more than 4 rounds, or it's either 350 seconds. Now the cool thing about, in this case, a spike factory with just an alchemist is the fact that if you have enough raw spikes stacked, you can pop a BAD in 1 hit. So it's one of those towers that run 100 hard. This is medium, of course, so the BAD is not as strong as in hard, but this is just to show you that it's just an alchemist, so that you can pop layers, so you can pop DDTs, and you can buff a little more the damage and the attack speed of the tower. You can bring down BAD in 1 hit. So in this case, I'm still keeping and stacking the spikes. Now I think that more than 350 seconds have occurred, so I'm losing some of these spikes. But look now here, when this BAD is gonna touch it, boom. And look at the pile. So I still have a lot of pile of raw spikes here. So that is just how strong this upgrade is, and I think that's just the best one. You could also go, depending on the occasions, probably not in Champs, but you can also try the middle upgrade as well, the middle path. The mob shredder, the activated abilities can be useful depending on the situations, but then the top path is just terrible in my opinion. The 5th upgrade is too expensive for the cost efficiency is just too bad, and overall, like the bottom tree is just so much better. Even the middle tree is better, so it's not even worth going for the top tree. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.